Right Foot Podcast. Here's my book. It's out a month and a half. They have 34,000 copies sold. We're trying to become a New York Times bestseller, so go out and buy it. It's about successes, failures, and lessons learned in life. Today we have unbelievable guests from the Hamptons in New York and now also in Florida, the Goldberg family, Amanda and Mark Goldberg. Let me give you a fast rundown on these guys. They have a bagel empire. They have 12 bagel emporium stores in the Hamptons. That's where I met these guys. They have them in Southampton, Wainscott, East Hampton, Montauk, I don't even know, Sag Harbor, and East Quad. And these guys are fourth generation. This is the fourth generation right here.
I'm the third.
Mark's the third, his dad and his grandfather. So it's pretty incredible. I wanted to have them on here because they built an empire. But what's so interesting to me was I met these guys in the Hamptons years ago. I guess 2004 and 2005. I'm fortunate that I have backdoor access now. Before I had front door access. And I wait in a long line behind all the celebrities in the Hamptons. But what's really interesting is they have this concept. I don't know whether it's the most delicious bagel or the great food, but they were able to take the concept and bring it 12 or 1,400 miles south and open up in Florida how many years ago?
Right after the pandemic.
Right after the pandemic. And they're about to open their third store down there. The first one is doing unbelievable. I was there watching the other day. They made 1,800 bagels in one day. And that was really fun to watch. And the second one's a monster. What streets are they on down here? One's on Sterling Road.
No, one's on, it's really US 1, Grandpa's Bakery, it's called, because that's what it was called 50 years ago. And I bought it from the widow during the pandemic. And then I opened up on Oakland Park with the name Goldberg's, which is a name I use at the Hamptons and in Bergen County, New Jersey. And that's got the most recognition now because the name Goldberg's, everybody knows me.
Everybody knows Goldberg's. I mean, I go out with this guy once a week for dinner, and he's like a celebrity in all these restaurants in town. Everybody from the Hamptons comes running up to him. They want backdoor access like I have. They're not going to get it, though. Now, the other day, we saw Steve Madden, and we promised him backdoor access.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the history of your family and how you got in the bagel business? Do you entertain anything else in your life besides this? This was it from day one.
High school.
High school.
High school to the bagel store.
Right.
And
so your grandfather?
My grandfather started, he bought it on an investment in the Bronx. And my father really brought it to the next level. He learned how to roll bagels, bake bagels. He joined the Bagel Union, which was a very powerful union in the 60s. And he expanded from there. He had stores in Brooklyn, Long Island, and then he went to Jersey. That's where he really...
So is bagel making an art?
Of course.
It is?
Yeah.
Because you see all these different chains, Einstein's bagels and whatnot, but you're obviously...
But you can taste the difference.
Yeah, you can taste the difference.
I learned from old-time European bakers that really taught me the feel of dough, chemistry of dough, hot, cold water, more yeast, less yeast. But
so do you think that's a requirement? I mean, do you know how to make bagels? Do you make bagels?
No.
No?
I don't want it to make bagels.
That's why I think it's good to know, like just being in the business. But I remember as a kid going to the stores in Jersey and watching my dad roll bagels and the way he would do it. And I was like, okay, I can do it too. And I would mimic exactly what he was doing. But you would call them bombs. Bagel bombs. Because they're
like playing with Play-Doh.
Right. But now the Bialys are really a lost art, isn't it?
Yes, that's a lost art.
I mean, explain to our audience what a Bialy.
Bialy is a cross between a bagel and an English muffin. But it's something that you have to make, bake, and sell all the same day. It's not like bagels, you refrigerate it or you can freeze it.
Right.
And sell it the next day or a week later. So it's all in one. So it's a hard process.
Is that something you want to do? Give out a freezer bag? You want the people coming back the next day. You don't want them freezing the
I
bag.
don't care.
You don't care.
Could you freeze a BLE? And like, yeah, you can freeze them, right?
Yeah.
So you have so many different. You have so many different types of bagels too. I mean, your Stewart,
The flat bagels made us, real famous.
yeah, the Flago.
Yeah, the flat, well, we can
Yeah, you can't flat bagel.
Oh,
Flat bagel.
it's called a flat bagel. So explain to our folks what a flat bagel.
Flat bagel is you take a bagel, you overproof it, then you push it down, and you dip it in seeds, and it's well seeded and stuff like that. And it's crispy, less dough on the inside. It's for a person that scooped out the dough in the old days.
Right. So it's less carbohydrates, or
That I can't tell you.
right, right. But you have cinnamon rays, and you have the everything bagel.
That's just one cell.
Number one seller, the everything bagel. That's it. Does it cost?
Hands down.
Is it really? Does it cost much more to throw all that everything on the bagel?
It costs money, but nothing.
So can you reveal to our I guess you can't tell our audience how much a bagel costs.
Well, it depends on a lot of things, on your overhead, your rent, and stuff like that. Rent could be $5,000 or $20,000, so you would have to figure that all into the
Right.
equation.
Right, right. So what do you think the secret sauce is that your bagel is so much better that people go, I mean, in the Hamptons, everybody drives miles
Yeah.
and they see the lines on Saturday and Sunday on the weekends. And all the famous people are there. I mean, I've met Jerry Seinfeld. I've met Christy Brinkley at your store.
You bet Katie Curtin in the walk-in box.
You locked me into the walk-in freezer with Katie Carrot. Katie, if you're watching,
Hi.
do you remember me? I knew you before you were married, Katie. And then you used to sit with us at breakfast in the morning. And then your soon-to-be husband got really angry at you when she saw you.
He's a good sport.
He was a good sport. He was a good sport. And he's a big spender of gold.
Yeah.
But, we just had an election. We don't talk politics on this show, but one of the big things that was a plus or minus for Joe Biden versus Donald Trump was this inflation issue. And everybody was complaining the last couple of years about the price of things. Did you feel it in your business? I know eggs are
Well, eggs are a tough one. Eggs really hurt us. But, listen, got to raise the price. And we raised the price $1 an egg sandwich. We're more than covered.
So why eggs? Is it like the flu? Did they?
Yeah, bird flu.
Bird flu.
Yeah, it's happening again now.
Is it?
Eggs have tripled.
Well, I haven't bought a dozen eggs in so long. How much is a dozen eggs?
Over $7, I believe.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's our cost or in the supermarket?
Supermarket.
In the supermarket, yeah.
I think we're $5 a dozen, thereabouts.
It's crazy. I shop around every Sunday for eggs because
Supply.
for suppliers. I have like 3 or 4 different people, and I compare the prices. And one of our suppliers, the eggs are like the cheapest it's been in weeks. I bought like 10 cases to cover myself.
So how many, company-wide, how many eggs, do you have any idea how many eggs?
I gave it.
Thousands per week.
Yeah.
Thousands.
It's the biggest part of our business now is the egg sandwich.
So you're just a breakfast and lunch.
Breakfast and lunch, no dinner. My stores in Florida are New York City delis. I feature the Carnegie deli meats in them, and we do a real nice job with the corned beef and pastrami and fresh turkey.
Now, do you make the corned beef there, or
We
that's
steam them there.
you steam them?
We steam it.
Right. So inflation, has that hit like the meats too, or is,
A little bit, but not much. Not much.
how about like sodas or the cost of sodas? That carry
Yeah, no.
it takes shit.
Eggs is the big thing.
Well, you used to have the greatest. You still do the greatest pickles in that. We left Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, that doesn't get affected by inflation.
That doesn't get affected by inflation.
There's cutting smaller recorders.
That's super funny. So I'm just curious, just because I like to know what people make. How much does like at a Goldberg's, which is doing I don't know how many breakfasts and lunches a day, how much does a waitress make? Does a waitress make?
They make a couple $100 a day.
They can make a couple of, so they can make, and what percentage of that is credit card? Is that mostly?
It's 85% credit card.
So back in the day, I remember my daughter used to work at Uncle Bill's Pancake House down at the Jersey Shore. And she used to come home with $60 and $1 bills,
Yeah, now it's all credit card reports And it's better for the waitress, to be honest with you, because now you have a waitress that's 65 years old, and she hasn't paid any Social Security in her life,
Right.
and she doesn't benefit from the American system.
So you're saying to me, a good waitress that goes in for breakfast and works a lunch can potentially make $1,500 a week.
Yeah, yeah.
If she works her ass off and runs
It's polite, and there's
and has regulars that come
this big tippers like you that
big tipper like me.
yeah, that tip them.
Yeah. I used to be a 10% tipper till I was hanging around with them. Now you embarrass me.
Yeah,
I'm
like
like,
50%.
yeah.
Who's the biggest tipper?
Us,
Uncle
Uncle Alan.
Well, what is a typical tip? 20%?
Yeah, 20%.
And now, so I notice a lot of restaurants, I don't know if you're doing it, they put, if you use a credit card, they charge you like that convenience fee.
Yeah, a cash discount, it's called.
Oh, cash.
Cash discount. If it's cash, it's the price. If it's credit card, it's 3%.
Well, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
It
it's
is
really-
very fair. It's very fair for the store owner, because if you don't have that, you have another rent.
Well, I won't ask you what your margins are, but if credit cards are 3%, that's really digging into margins.
Absolutely.
When
Absolutely.
you're talking about a $0.50 for an egg,
Yeah.
you're serving a 5-egg omelet or whatever, that's $2.50 just in. What do you figure? I remember back in the day when I just had like a little bit of an interest in a restaurant chain. The food cost was like 30%. So
You're about, you could be 35 now.
is it 35?
Yeah, it's probably 35 food costs.
And then if you're set, like, is bacon going?
Bacon fluctuates, but not that bad.
Right. So where do you see the future of these fast? The big issue today seems to be labor and this whole immigrant thing, and now
Yes.
what's going on. You see a lot of these diners going out of business. I guess because why is that?
Diners, I think their real estate is worth more than their business. So most diners get a TD Bank or CVS. They own the property from the 50s or 60s, and they bought it for $200 and sell it for $5 million or $8 million.
Right.
It's better to get that than work 24 hours a day.
Right. You're working like crazy.
Yeah.
And you have a lot Goldberg's has the best prepared foods. When you go up to their deli, and you see they have the chicken salad and all that stuff. I mean, you must have guys go in at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, start making that stuff.
Yeah, that or the day before, it's all prepped, and then we just put it together the mayo.
And then the first time I ever saw in my life, I always, bought the cream cheese at the supermarket. You have the cream cheese with the lox in it. Yeah,
Vegetables, scallions, jalapenos.
right. Well, the gourmet cream cheese.
Yes.
So what's the newest trend? Is there anything new and different, or it's the same, great stuff that you always had?
My daughter knows more, but avocados take over. Everything has avocado.
Yeah.
Egg whites and avocado, turkey.
Lox and avocado.
Yeah,
Everything.
Everything's avocado.
Cream cheese avocado. Bacon, cream cheese avocado.
Like kids love avocados, and I always seem to buy the wrong ones in the
You
supermarket.
gotta find them ripe.
Yeah, they're always
And to return.
Yeah.
That's the trick. They're always
You gotta use them or else they turn black.
Right, but they seem to have a pretty decent shelf life. They sit around for a week or so.
Yeah, uncut. Once you open them up, expose them to air.
Right.
Yeah.
So avocados, the new hot trend.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Probably.
And gluten-free bagels.
Gluten-free bagels, but I think also, obviously, from 10 years ago to now, the biggest thing, like, obviously social media. It is huge, but what we're seeing on social media is that bagels are about to have, I'm calling it like a renaissance. Like, they're coming back big. Like, people are so into bagels. I mean, not that they haven't been into bagels for the last 50, 60 years, but like to see young kids come in, like, I mean, I'm in my 30s, but like younger than me, like I love seeing a little kid come into the store. Can I have cream cheese and lox? And like,
They're well-educated consumers.
yeah, big,
That's unbelievable.
yeah.
You know, and I think, look, I don't know anything about the bagel business, but, you know, everybody's on this metformin or Ozempic. You know, you can eat, you know, nobody's on these carb-free diets anymore.
Yeah, that's
right?
good. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's doing like the no-carb diet because they just take the shot.
You used to have the like low carb bagels in Southampton, like in the way beginning.
Probably.
I feel like I don't know, but like all that stuff, like everyone tries to be healthy, but we heard that thing. The average American eats 2 bagels a week.
Is that really true?
I don't know, but still got the podcast.
So do they still sell the toasted sliced bagels? What's
Bagel chips?
Yeah, bagel chips. Is that still popular?
Not as popular as it used to be.
Yeah,
Yeah, because nobody cares about carbs anymore.
I just tried to sell some last week. I sold nothing.
A bunch of guys from where I grew up, Westwood, New Jersey, had Burns and Rick bagel chips. They made a fortune with it. They sold it to an overseas company and got it back a year later for pennies on the dollar.
Unbelievable. So when you scout for a new location and that you're still growing by leaps and bounds, I mean, are you concerned? Like you drive down the street, there's 6 bagel stores in 5 miles. So do you care? You're Goldbergs. You're not the, like you're the chef.
I'm old school. I don't like to open up near anybody unless they do it to me. If they do it to me, then they get the back door. So, yeah, I'm old school. When they know you do something bad to me, I hit back.
All right. So when you come in an area that there's an Einstein's bagel, which is a giant chain, you know, very.
I'm not even effective. I laugh.
You're just going to
But
take
if it's a mom and pop store, I have hard.
right.
Because, I know how hard it is to do the work.
Right. Now, up there, do you have anything by that Manhasset Mall up in...
Yeah.
What do you think of that area? That's a
great area, but there's a lot of bagel stores.
There's a lot of bagels for them.
They've been there a long time, a lot of the players there.
Right, yeah. A lot of people have these, the old-time stores.
Right. It's like my store in Bergen County, New Jersey. I'm there 55 years. I grew up in the store.
Is that your mom's store?
My mom's store, yeah.
Well, so the Goldbergs here, their mom is what, 92?
Yeah, she'll be 93.
93, and she still has a bagel store from...
She still goes every day.
Every day,
Almost
like 3 times a week.
She sits
Does
there.
But she goes there when she goes to the hairdresser, so she looks good. She won't go there looking bad.
And what does she like get involved? Does she just has a cup of coffee?
Coffee and a sandwich.
Right.
She socializes. She watches what everyone's
Yeah.
doing.
Complains about everybody.
Does she?
I said, fire him. She goes, who's going to work? I said, you.
So in your business, I guess you have a lot of regulars that come in all the time.
Yeah, you used to be one.
I used to be, right? And then inflation got the best of it. I can't afford it anymore. No, I mean, you guys always took great care of me. I had that backdoor service, and I had the Goldberg discount. I had the family ring.
You want to sell keys to the back door soon. And stop selling the any big.
Well, that's what you should do.
Yeah.
You should have a membership. You got to be a black card membership. It's $100.
We used to do a password in Southampton. We used to tell people on Instagram, come to the back door and give this password.
Right.
And we made it a game.
Right.
So
what is your most popular store in the Hamptons? East Hampton?
East Hampton, Wainscott, and Southampton. On the other side, East Quad.
Montauk.
Yeah, Montauk going towards the beach.
Now, how about Montauk in the winter? Is
It's Stag Harbor now. So
Oh, yes, sir.
Stag Harbor's like really hot right now.
Montauk's slow. We have 2 in Montauk that we should really close one and have one open, but we have nothing to do for the labor. We like to keep our labor all year round.
Yeah, you're so loyal to your people. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, a lot of them been with us, 10 years.
I know. I've been going in your store 20 years. It's the same faces.
Yeah.
Except for Alan. He's not at the cash register.
He retired again.
Did he retire?
He retired from the cash register.
But we have Uncle Stu there. He's still there.
Still cutting fish.
And then you had Chris.
Yeah, Muscle Chris.
Muscle Chris.
Muscle Chris is in Mattatucket.
Yeah.
Oh, where's that?
It's on the north,
Northwell.
Oh,
which is, I mean,
That's
people
the
that
up
don't
and
know.
coming. That's the up and coming.
Yeah.
is he?
Yeah. It's
So should we go buy real estate there now?
Yeah.
I think it could be too late.
no, it's still affordable.
Is it?
I mean, it's coming up, but the thing about that is like all farmland and vineyards, and now like the people are getting upset because they don't want it to be like the South Fork now.
Right. So, is it important when you look for a location, if something's like very expensive rent-wise, or you can, like, we were talking about maybe that Palm Beach area a little while ago, and the rents there are just insane.
Yeah.
I mean, can you make enough money that,
You don't want to work for the landlord.
yeah,
Yeah, that's not fun.
yeah, I mean, paying $20,000 a month, it's just insane to pay kind of,
Yeah.
Well, we had that in the city. We were approached by something, and we gave an offer,
And
and they came back like 15,000. They were like, "Oh, we're the owners are getting 15,000 over what we
there's an
asked."
existing bagel store
yeah.
that got shut down, and now they want the new blood in there, and there's a bidding war for the location.
So do you try and be, if you're in a location like that, do you try and be near a supermarket? Is there anything,
No,
liquor store?
no. Years ago, you used to want to be near a newspaper store
Got it.
because they buy the Sunday paper,
Yeah.
bagels like that. That was your main draw. A newspaper, a stationery store.
Right, right.
No one reads the newspaper.
Do you still sell the newspaper?
Yeah.
Yeah, very little, very little.
I mean, that's got to be elusive, right? People steal. Carl Vernick used to steal the paper and then read it, spill all over it, and put it back in the stand. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, don't talk about that, people.
Yeah, he was a friend of ours, right?
It's a friend of mine anyway.
Yeah, he's a friend of yours. He's a friend of mine for maybe 20 years. The last 5, not so much. But, so that's interesting. So the newspaper, that's important. But there's not many newspapers. Everybody reads it online now.
Not anymore,
I'm one of the few people that still buy New York Post every day.
Do you really?
Yeah, I like to have that piece of paper in front of me, and I look at it and I feel it. It's different than trying to read it on the phone.
The same way.
I agree.
I'd rather write on paper than write on the computer.
Right, but you probably, when you text, you use 2 fingers. I mean, the kids today are so much better.
Yeah, but I'm a little old school. Like,
Right?
I am. My husband always says, "Oh, why don't you do it this way? Why don't you do it online? Or there's so many easier ways to do it." It's, yeah, I know, but I like to do it the old way.
So, since you're the newest generation Goldbergs, what do you see that, the older generation is not doing to attract, like you said, all these young kids coming in and getting a bagel and a schmear?
Well, I think like every older generation, when new blood comes in, it's hard to let go of the past. But I have to say, like, one thing that we do is we keep it pretty old school and like with the new school things. Like, people come into the store, "Do you have rainbow bagels?"
I was going to ask you, like pumpkin,
No.
Halloween, do you
No, we don't do any of that. I mean, I like,
If the guys that taught me see me do that, they'll burst my arm.
but it's, do you have rainbow?
That's funny.
Like a little kid. And, we say, "No, sorry." "Oh, okay. Like, what do you have then?" But, like, people in, like, New York City and, like, Long Island, they thrive off of these, like, crazy flavors. But I love that. I mean, I started doing French toast in my store, like, because it's something that,
Those bagels.
yeah, French toast bagel, sorry.
Oh, nice.
Which is like an egg bagel dipped in,
Yeah.
like a batter, and it sells, but, like, it's not like, I don't know. I like old school stuff.
Well, it's kind of like Dunkin' Donuts, which they can't compare to you. It's the same donuts they've been doing forever, except they do sort of the things like,
Well, that's where it's dropping the name donuts. So,
Yeah, no, yeah.
oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, they dropped the name donuts.
Why?
They don't want to be known as a donut store. They want to be known as other things.
What else do they sell besides donuts?
They do egg sandwiches, coffee.
Oh, do they?
They have like,
Yeah, you ever see how dirty those Dunkin' Donuts are?
well, now they look nice.
Yeah, they were doing it.
Are they?
Yeah.
But I mean, so you sell a lot of coffee, I guess, right?
Yeah, but now the new generation is iced coffee, all that stuff. So now you gotta change your coffee bar, to espresso and cappuccinos and iced cappuccinos, which I really haven't done yet.
I did that so when I took over my East Quogue store, it was like a luncheonette place, and it came with a espresso machine. So I was like, "Oh, this is great." And I would make lattes and cappuccinos and this and that. And then I brought like matcha, acai bowls, smoothies.
You have all that in your store?
Well, I did, but now I took my little store and I moved it to a bigger location. And the little store that I was in is going to become a coffee shop now, which is going to be a different.
Works Coffee Shop?
It's going to be Gold Brew, powered by Goldbergs.
Whoa, I like that.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Something different, and we'll have a little
Piece of that.
You did buy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're taking investors.
Good. Are you?
It's a new concept.
So it just blows me away. I mean, I'm fortunate in my life, but I go to the Starbucks every morning, and my cost of my coffee, I get a banana before I go to the gym. I get a banana bread and a cup of coffee. It's $8.66
That's pretty reasonable.
That is reasonable.
for a cup of coffee and a little slice of banana bread. Yeah, $6.66. But you know what's crazy? I'm assuming they're all computerized. Some days it's $8.43. Some days it's $8.66. Some days it's $8.76.
What do you get in your coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like 75 cents for a pump of vanilla.
Yeah,
and
no, I
maybe
get on with
50
it.
cents for on the.
Yeah, I never realized that.
Yeah.
Hello. And
How could you get a tip?
you know what? I never give a tip.
Really?
Yeah, because
Or you gotta start giving tips.
No, so I go through the drive-through line. Like, I go to this smoothie place in the morning called The Seed. A shout out to The Seed on Palmetto Park, a smoothie place, and to Cassie, who's at the front every day. She's the owner. And what I have to tell you is their computer thing is really very, very cool the way it's set up, because I don't know what the smoothie is. I'm making up prices, but it's $14. But before you can complete your credit card sale, it gives you 3 prompts for 20, 25%, or 30% tip. So you're kind of forced to either be embarrassed at a no tip or a 20, 25, or 30.
No 50% tip?
They have a custom
Have a
button.
custom.
Yeah. But the drive-through at the Starbucks, the workers are getting screwed there because I use my phone. I use my Apple. And they should really put on the Apple on the phone, automatic tip.
Well, up by us in New York, our stores we're not in the computer realm yet. We're on a cash register still with the credit card machine. So people will be like, "Oh, can I leave a tip?" And I'm like, I tap the card and it's too late.
That's what happens, yeah.
So,
And I'm in the drive-through line, and, you have your hot coffee, you're fumbling for, like, a $5 bill or something to give a tip. It's just not set up right for the employees. So who's ever running, the guy from Chipotle is now running Starbucks. Change it for your employees so they can get a tip. Michael Nichols, what's his name? Nichols or something, went from Chipotle Grill over at Starbucks.
Oh.
Yeah. He left Chipotle Grill. He turned around Chipotle, the restaurant chain. Remember they had they had
lettuce.
Yeah, right. They had a big problem. And now they stole them away at Starbucks because, Starbucks is impossible. There's so many drinks and they're so complicated. You wait forever. I do have an etiquette question for you. See how fast the show is going?
fast.
It's 28 minutes. We didn't even cover yet. Goldbergs are going to have to come back for a second showing. So I have a Larry David question for you. You guys watch Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah.
So Starbucks, if I go inside, always has a long line. If I hold the door for a lady behind me, should she let me go in front of her in the line or behind her? Because I held the door. I'm really in front of her.
Depends how pretty she is.
Usually they're pretty old and broken.
Don't let us in them in the tip.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but so now I hold the door for this lady. She goes in front of me. And she has this super complicated 4-drink order that literally takes like 10 friggin' minutes. And I'm like, I can't believe that I'm behind this woman, for the order. But when you're going to do all these coffees are you going to get crazy with all the different nuances that a Starbucks? Can you make money on that when you're doing?
Yeah, just charge out for everything.
100%. I charge $1 extra for a pump of vanilla.
Yeah.
Do you really?
And it's like, so yeah. And I make the bottle back in a few drinks.
So do you guys, off the top of your head, know what percentage of your sales are coffee? Is it a lot? 10%? 5%?
I couldn't tell you honestly.
I don't know. I think 90% of people are coming in and
Yeah,
grabbing at least one coffee.
yeah, it could be 10%.
What's kind of crazy, I'm past 60 years old, and I know it's hard to believe, right, Amanda? I know you answered, what, 25, 30 years?
Long time.
Long time. But I remember when water was free. Now water's like, what, $4 a bottle when you get an Evian water?
Imagine people, your father's age stuff, seeing that what's going on with water.
It's crazy, but how do they sell, like, sometimes you can go into the Publix and buy a case of water for $6, but yet an Evian water is like,
The name,
Yeah.
it's not a little,
And it's grown in, it's not grown, it's in the Alps.
yeah,
do you really believe that, or just turn in a spigot something?
yeah, I think so.
It's like going to East Quagga and somebody asking for, can I have some tap water, please?
Right. So, do you have any really interesting stories about, I don't mean to put you guys on the spot, I mean, Mark did lock me in the freezer and Kate and Carrick. That was a fun one.
Actually, Mommy has a good story in Southampton. It was like a crazy day, and we like to talk to the people. We like to engage,
Right.
banter a little bit. And the guy came. He ordered some stuff, and he puts a Hamptons magazine down. And she goes, "Oh, who's on the cover?" And the guy goes, "My wife." And she looks at him and she goes, "Who are you?" It was Eve Schreiber.
Wow.
And like she's like, who are you? Like she had no clue. No clue.
So, in all my years in the Hamptons, I was always shocked that the celebrities don't look like they do on TV. Like Alec Baldwin doesn't look like, and he's like hobbling around when you see him. I haven't seen him in a couple of years since that whole thing.
He's a great guy.
Is he?
Yes, he is. We were in a predicament, and he offered to have our back and help us
Oh, that's good news.
in one of the stores. And I know he donated a lot of the money from Capital One, that commercial I did,
Right.
to the Guildhall in East Hampton.
Yeah, he was very involved
Yeah,
in the.
yeah,
he
yeah.
took a bad break there.
Yeah,
And then I used to see Paul McCartney all the time.
yeah.
He's held the door for me once at the movie theater.
And he walks around, the guy's a Beatle. He's a friggin' Beatle, and he walks around in town alone.
I was next to him at the bar, and I recognized the voice. I just turned around like, wow, that's Sir Paul.
Sir Paul, and then
And we leave everybody alone. No one really bothers the celebrities. And
since Lim Bodnick. But then, who was the other one that I used to see? Paul McCartney, Alec Baldwin,
Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry.
Jerry Seinfeld did a stand-up, and he talked about us. That
Yeah.
it's his favorite bagel.
yeah, in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
a friend of mine was in the audience, and he called me up and told me that he said, being Jewish and this and that, and where's your favorite bagel? He goes, East Hampton, New York.
Well, he, on TV it comes off as somewhat a little rude, when he does interviews. But every time I've ever seen him with his kids, he's always
Wait, so
so nice.
Yep.
He's always a great guy. But, one of the big thrills, I met, Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton out there. They're out there in the summer all the time, but they always had the Secret Service. But he's always wandering around Main Street. Does he ever come into the...
No, I never seen it.
I guess they have chefs up there, right?
A lot of the celebrities out there, some of them come, a lot of them send their house managers, butlers. They're,
I know Seinfeld sends a spell.
Yeah. a lot of we see a lot of housewives.
Yeah, well, the housewife.
Oh, the Housewives of New York.
Housewives of New York.
That's her name.
Jill Zarin's a good feisty about neighbors. I've seen Bethany at the store.
Bethany. I used to...
She's done a couple of TikToks on us.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing...
Not all bad. She loves a flat with cottage cheese and caviar
Wow.
and everything flat.
So what do you... I mean, do you take it personally when you see a bad writing
At all.
No.
critique or you...
Or not serving all these people if you get one or two. It doesn't even faze me.
So that's the underscore of my book. It's success, failures, and lessons learned. And we're almost out of time. I'm curious, what do you think the most valuable lesson that you've learned of being a restaurant bagel empire, of all these stores and creating new stores? It's treating customers right and
Respectfully.
respectfully, giving them a
If they
good
buy
product.
if they buy one bagel or 1 pound of Nova, they're still my customer.
And you have like anybody complains, it's like no problem.
Whatever it is,
People complain like,
but they can't treat my health rude.
That's a great lesson.
yeah, that's true.
When they
What do you do?
That's
tell them, you want to talk rude, go outside and talk rude. Don't treat, that's someone's kid or someone's wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
situation where people have yelled at our staff and we've had to intervene. So listen, like, you can't treat people like that.
For good reason or for just being an asshole?
Yeah, be an asshole.
So I have a chapter in my book, how do you recognize an asshole? And I was right there, a manager of New York Prime over here, good friend Doug. This guy, this customer, it was his birthday, and he didn't get the table he wanted. And the manager kept saying to him, is your service good? He said, yes. Is your food good? Yes. But he just wasn't happy because he didn't have the table he wanted.
You can't make everybody.
Big problem.
Well, there's a lot of tables. Somewhat too close to Jackie Mason had that joke. Too close to the door, too far from the window. You never. How many good tables are there at a restaurant? 2,
Yeah.
3. You're always going to
Bar's always a nice table.
be like the bar.
Me too. I'd rather sit at the bar than a table.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Goldbergs, it was so great to have you
Pleasure.
on our show.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, we're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, the Hamptons, all the Goldbergs up there.
If you want to follow Goldbergs to see what we're up to, we're on Instagram and on Facebook at the original Goldbergs Bagels.
That's great. Why don't you give a plug again? Let's hear it again. Goldbergs at what?
At the original Goldbergs Bagels on Instagram and on Facebook.
Fabulous.
We haven't made it to TikTok yet.
And the best bagels in the world. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.